Hey guys, so while you watch this vlog, I wanted to give you some reflections and some advice from a couple who've just visited Milan. And we were on a reasonable budget, like, we're not afraid to spend a bit of money, but at the same time, we like to save where we can. So, hopefully, this will give you a bit of an insight if you're planning to go to Milan or if you want to go to Milan. So, I guess before I start, I just want to say that I'm not a travel guide or a travel expert, but this is kind of just my reflections and recommendations that I hope will help. Let's start off with how much time I think you need in the city. So, personally, I think you only really need 3 days to conquer Milan. If you want to visit all of the tourist hotspots that you always see everyone go to, they're all quite bunched together. Hence, why I don't think you need a large amount of time because you won't be traveling very far in the city. Everything's quite close. So, I personally think you need 1 day for shopping and just the tourist hotspots, 1 day for Lake Como, which is a little day trip, and 1 day for the spa in Milan. What you're watching right now is the first day in Milan when we're kind of getting into the city, but I have done separate vlogs on the spa and also shopping, so make sure you go and watch those. Let's talk about transport. So, we got the train from Milan Malpensa Airport to Milan Central Station, which you're currently looking at right now, and that was around £12 per person. So, I actually forgot to book a private transfer from the airport to the hotel, but luckily, getting public transport wasn't too bad. I would say, on reflection, using Trainline is actually quite easy rather than using the ticket machines. Because most of the apps, like I believe Uber Eats and I think Deliveroo and Trainline, so most of the English apps also work in Milan/Europe. So Trainline is a really good one to use. So the metro is also very well connected. It's around €13 for a 3 day pass. So that's pretty good considering the London Underground is like £7 per day cap. What you're watching right now is our hotel, which I've actually done a separate video about, giving you a tour of that and just a breakdown of that. But yeah, this is our hotel. The one thing about it was there was night tax, which I was not expecting. So for two people for 4 nights, we paid €40 night tax. Now, I was not expecting it to be that high, and I didn't even realize it had night tax because in Morocco, you only really pay like, I don't know, £18, for night tax for 7 nights for a big family. So this was a shocker for me. Let's talk about weather next. So we visited in August and it was around 30, 31 degrees every day. So every shop does have AC, which is such a welcome when you're outside burning in the sun and you walk into a shop. So that's really good. But one thing is, if you're not in the shade, then you will burn. Like, you need to be in the shade. If you're in direct sunlight, because it's not very cloudy, you will just burn. My personal opinion of the hospitality and kind of the Italian people is that they're not the best with customer service. They're not like warm and friendly, like, when you go to Morocco and Turkey and they're just like warm and friendly and bubbly. It's not like that. They're not like that in Italy. Um, Most of them do speak some English. I'm not gonna lie, they are nice, like they are friendly and kind, but they're just not what you would expect. I don't know how to explain it, and I think it's because I've gone to Morocco and Turkey so many times. So I'm used to those kind of people when I go on holiday, but this was very kind of like European. And I've never been to Europe before, so bear that in mind as well. Okay, so let's talk about food now. So we mostly ate seafood, pizza, and pasta, and that's because if you didn't know, we are Muslim, so we had to kind of go for the vegetarian options. So just a few comments about the food. So what I noticed is if you order a drink like an alcohol or something like that, they often give you food with it. So like olives, breadsticks, that kind of thing. And I think that's complimentary. But when you do get food, you don't get the same thing. And I was a bit confused because I saw a lady on another table get a drink and like some olives, breadsticks. And I was like, where's our complimentary starter? But I realized that's something to do with having alcohol and something like that. Anyways, so you do have to kind of pay this eating in tax, which is around €2 per person, each time you eat in at a restaurant. The food is very tasty, very lovely, is a little bit bland. Like, there's not really much spice, but that's coming from, a half Asian. It's not really as easy to find the small owned places. Like, most of the places around you are going to be the tourist traps, and you would have to venture quite far out to find those authentic places. Um, and just to give you an idea of prices, like, I think the pasta there was like 13, €14. Cokes and, fizzy drinks are quite expensive. They're around €5, which is like 4.50, £4.50, sorry. Gelato is around €4, so that's just an idea of prices. In terms of spending money, I think you need to take around £100 per day to be comfortable, because meals are about £50 for a couple once you've paid for, your main dish each, and then your drinks, and then your eating in euros that you have to pay. So I think £100 per day would be comfortable, and then you'll just have a bit of extra money within that for the snacks and transport and any small shopping that you do. I think there's a preconception that the city is cheap because it's tax free, when you actually only get a small tax refund if you make a big purchase over €150, so you can't claim it back on like a meal or anything like that. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my advice. Please give me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Did you have the same experience in Milan? Will you be taking any of my advice? Let me know. And yeah, make sure you watch my actual Milan vlogs, which will be on my YouTube.